All right, it's time to start talking about Trump. I've been avoiding him because of the simple fact that we always know that it was going to be a delayed process, and it was going to take a little bit of time um, for any kind of indictment or hearings. Does your client, how does your client plead, guilty or not guilty, and then a court date is going to be set. And it was always obvious that it was going to take forever to get him processed. But and it is. But while that's going on, I'm just going to touch up on it real quick. His defense so far. First, his lawyers are trying to make it seem like everything was harmless, and that's what we're going to prove. And then Trump himself is saying, I've got evidence to back up what I'm saying. I've got evidence. You don't need to send me to jail. And it's like, what? Here's the thing. He still needs to go through arraignment. He still needs to go through the court dates, especially if he has evidence that says he was doing the right thing. He's supposed to bring that to court. What he's not doing is not presenting the evidence and still trying to get a walk. And to me, common sense says that's all the more reason to indict him. That's all the more reason to press charges. And that's all the more reason to see that some kind of justice is served, that he serves some kind of jail time. Now, I'll get on jail time in a little bit. The reason why I say this, though, is because, these tactics that he's using are weasel tactics. This is what guilty people do. He's this shy of saying, the devil made me do it, or I did this because I was temporarily insane, because of temporary insanity. He's not going that far yet, but I'm almost positive I could put real money on it that he will eventually. The devil made me do it. KGB agent. This is the work of the KGB. ISIS did it. Antifa persuaded me. They drugged me. It sounds so stupid. But then again, so does Trump, who's doing these weasel tactics. I've got evidence that proves my innocent. Will you present it to the jury? No, I don't need to go to court. The evidence was right there. In fact, you know it. You all saw it. So what are you going to believe? Me or the facts? When you go that far down, dude, that's all the more reason to indict you. It's all the more reason to just to sentence you already, Speaking of sentencing, okay, let's all get something straight right here and now. Another reason why I've also been ignoring it is because I know for a fact, because he's the former president, he's not going to really do any real hard time. I mean, he could be given 10 years as a sentence, incongruent with all the other crimes, seeing as how he's in his mid-70s. It seems like a real good, it seems like a real good sentence. That being said, however, let's get straight to the facts. He's not really going to a hardened prison. He's not going to Attica, He's not going to be doing time in Sing Sing or any kind of shit like that. Or any kind of stuff like that. He's going to be going to, if y'all ever seen The Wolf of Wall Street, he's going to where celebs and billionaires go. He's going to go to a place, where he gets to still play tennis as his 1 hour exercise. Which means we're going to be looking at more photos of him in those shorts. Boo. he's not really going to be, he's going to be going to a cushy house, a cushy estate or whatever. And he's going to have, all the air conditioning, unlike the Texas prisoners here in Texas, where I think 20 people have already died. 20 prisoners have already died of heat exhaustion, and it's not even sure as to whether or not they were actually hardened criminals. It's quite possible it was just a guy in for a marijuana offense, but he died because of heat exhaustion, because our Texas state governor doesn't know how to do anything. He doesn't even know how to run a fucking prison. He doesn't even know how to run a freaking prison. But that being said, Trump isn't going anywhere near that. Nothing like that is going to be happening to him. Okay? He's not going to have to get prison ink. He's not going to be sporting prison ink. He's not going to be getting his butt reamed. He's not going to have to fight for his life. He's not going to have to make any shanking weapons out of, a toothbrush or anything. Here's the thing. He's just going to be in a cushy lockdown place. And the repercussions of doing that, with him especially, is that he's now going to be able to write his own Mein Kampf, which will just inspire hate and anger and hate out of more people, including the people that already hate in his name. He's going to be allowed tons of access to interviews. There's probably going to be an interview room. He's not going to be talking through a phone behind a glass wall. Okay? He's going to have an interview room with all these press that come in to visit. Okay? And he gets to ramble and babble and stuff. He's going to be taking the place. His preachings are going to be taking the place of Charles Manson. And I hate to say that, because at least Charles Manson was an actual murderer. He was an actual person that did harm to people. He's the equivalent of an actual criminal, hardened criminal. He didn't kill anybody at the Sharon Tate murders. True, but he did give the order. Okay? And he has killed before also. So it's not like this is some cream puff, his words were actual gold in the eyes of people that respect murderers. It was him that created murder is murder, it's just killing. All God's creatures do it, including the animals in the forest. And you would hear man is, we deforest. We kill those animals and all the people in the forest and all the animals in the forest. But we don't call it murder. We call it industry. And that's the shame on your part for saying that. That kind of mentality, you can actually see where Manson is coming from. Trump is just this babbling buffoon. Okay? Trump is this babbling buffoon. He just rants a bunch of dumb shit, a bunch of dumb stuff. Sorry. Huge difference between him and Manson. But yet Trump's words are going to be considered golden no differently. And that's just sad. But back to what's happening right now, where he isn't looking anywhere near jail time. He's not even, there's a quite possibility that he's going to be placed in Mar-a-Lago under house arrest for 10 years. That's not much of a punishment. However, it's quite possible that that's all that it's going to happen. He's going to be living the life of a retiree on land that he owns and all this other crap. And have as much visits that he wants from, his friends and family and all this other crap. But, that's also quite the possibility. That's also the stick in the eye, the mud in the eye, so to say. To the rest of us who actually want to see some kind of justice done. We'd actually like to see him do some kind of time. Not just live the life of a retired resident. you know. And sticking to that point, the main reason why I say that is because even though even though if he doesn't get sentenced to Mar-a-Lago for the rest of his life, or for 10 years restricted, grounded and all that, he gets sent to an actual facility, even if it's a cushy facility. He's doing time there. It's still him doing time. You know, there's one thing about being thrown in a jail cell, even a cushy jail cell. You still feel bad. You still feel like the criminal that you became. Okay? You feel like the criminal that you've been arrested for being. And when you come out of that doing time, you feel accomplished. You feel repented. You know, you feel that now what do you do after you've done that is an entirely different story. Some people go back to the life of crime. Others turn to the Bible and try to live a good, decent life. I got a funny feeling he's really not going to be doing evil, but at the same time, he's not going to try to be all Bible chucker, you know. He's not going to be doing any sermons at a church. And if he does, that church is a dumbass organization. Because I got a funny feeling he's more than likely just going to be doing his rants again. But until that's a long way from now. It's going to be a couple of years. I know everybody has a deadline, April of 2024, or something like that. May of 2024, August of 2020, March of 2024. Yeah, it's going to happen that soon. Sure, guy. Right. I don't think it's gonna. I think it's going to take a long, long time till we see it. He's going to be closer to 80. He's in his mid-70s now. He's going to be actually closer to 80 years of age before he does time of any kind. So that's the spiel there. I was really trying to avoid it because of the simple fact that nothing's being done right now. He's still wandering around being a dumbass with his speeches and all this other crap and his accusations and his all this stuff. Where I stand on it, no, it's not a conspiracy. It's not a witch hunt. What we're looking at is not a witch hunt. It's unfortunately the actual tortoise process of incarcerating a criminal at a different level from the ordinary citizen. Ordinary citizen being somebody that gets the book thrown at him for misdemeanor crime, I mean, there are people, to this day, there are people with marijuana sentences that have been already processed and are still suffering through that. They're still suffering from payments and court fees. They're still suffering from program fees for rehabilitation. They're still paying for, their jail sentence, the bond that they made to bail out, because of interest and service fees and all that stuff. That happened 10 years ago. And yet here we are taking in some rich guy that was a former president at one point in time. And instead of jumping on him immediately, we have to go through this circus. That's my take on this. It's the reason why I've been avoiding talking about him for so long. Because time is on my side. Because it's a circus. It's going to be run like a circus for years until we get to see something being done. Until we get to actually see justice actually being served. Just had to let that out. I've been dodging it this entire time for too long. I know I made one joke. Is Trump going to jail? Yes, he is. I made that joke. I sort of goofed around with it. but it's necessary to look at it at a serious level right now, and that's where I come up on it. And I hope everybody just stays as patient as I am, you know, especially those who are trying to actually get justice done. You know, stay patient, stay with it. You know, everybody's been saying it's been so long already, and la la la. And he had the right to a speedy trial. No, that's for misdemeanors. These are federal felonies. Okay, these are felonies, even if they're first-time felonies. Okay. He can't take this to small claims court. He can't take this to night court. You know? So, yeah. That's the long and short of it. I've taken up almost 20 damn minutes. I've taken up a quarter of an hour's time talking about it. And I really didn't want to. But that's where I come up. Y'all take care. Y'all take it easy. Let me know what you think. Let me know how far off you think I am. Or how accurate I might actually be. Because I'm willing to bet real money, like I said. Y'all take care. Y'all take it easy. Like, comment, subscribe, and keep putting them out there for you. You keep on keeping on. This is Chris with Chris's Comments, signing out.